Oh my gosh. Between this argument and this sex scene, forget Kiki. Baby, love has us in our feelings. Stay with us.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Janet.
I have to sip my tea to this one.
You know,
She don't care who's around, who's watching, anytime, any place, even outside.
I gotta come
In the rain.
In the rain?
Outside. Yeah.
In the rain, Tenere.
Nothing like
It was rain.
I'm really trying to get my life together.
Right?
Like I can't.
Yo, what is up, everybody? You are at the Love Is After show. We are discussing. I feel like I have to get my radio voice on. We are
Do it,
discussing.
girl. You got this.
Season 1, episode 5. Acceptance. The Quiet Storm.
wow.
And warm.
Soft and warm. Quiet. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. This scene at the end, cause it has us all, just like that right now.
We're still recovering. I feel like I'm outside in the rain. Okay.
Yeah. We have so much to talk about. We are going to talk about Keith and the Swingers Club. We're talking about 5 real life lessons from Mara herself. And we have our special segment, Love Is, and our fan of the week. So before we get into all of that, we're going to let it ride and introduce my lovely co-host with the love on the left to start.
What up, everyone? It's Tenere Williams.
Hey, y'all. It's Porchia.
Hello, everybody. I'm Thelma Mbaezue-Daniel, and I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, we have Thelma here and Rocky.
Filling in for Rocky.
Yeah, filling in for Rocky.
Yes,
We
sir.
miss you, baby.
I know. She's out doing big things, but I'm Takira Shabrae. So we're gonna cut the music and get right on into the seriousness of this episode. I know, right? Overall thoughts, real quick, before we get started.
Overall thoughts, Yasir. Who you think you talking to?
Oh, boy.
Okay.
When I tell you,
Okay.
you not about to yell at me in front of audience. You know what? We're gonna say that.
Yeah, just yeah.
You know what?
Tell me what
Overall
you got.
thoughts for me was just all wrapped up in this one line. Do you know what sucks about love? Even when you find it, you can't always keep it. That was Love Is in a bundle right there. So that's my overall thought for the episode, for sure.
All right.
So many overall thoughts. First of all, Keith. What? I was like, man, okay. And then, the whole...
He throw some other stuff.
Ooh, and then of course, we got some stuff to say about the sex scene and Keith. I'm just like, you handle that.
I was like, you know what? And I'll quote it a little later, but there was a website that said Love Is needed a little bit more edge. I'm going to quote it a little later, but they said, that Love Is needed more edge. Newsday, that was the website. Edge what? That's all I'm going to say. With no edge control. But yeah, my overall thoughts was like everyone else, the emotional roller coaster. Shout out to Jaron Horton. So he was a story and writer on this episode.
Absolutely.
Shout out to you along with Mara. So it took some turns. So let's get right into it. Keith and this whole Swingers Club ski trip. Anybody that's listening or in the chat, listening after, did you think it was a swingers club? Because me and Porchia.
As soon as I seen all these people with these matching blue sweaters, I said, nah, that's some swingers. What they on? And then they want to induct her into the club. And Keith, baby.
You know what, Portia? According to adultfinder.com, 5.4 million Americans are swingers. So you're not entirely off. But I will say that if they would have offered me a matching sweater with my name on it, I would have been walking home like, thanks, bye.
No.
I'm leaving.
Yeah,
Never coming back
the
again.
part with it that they already had the embroidery on the back with Keith. I was
They
like,
were so
how many?
ready.
Well, I'm thinking,
Before
wait,
she
how many
even-
other girls maybe have come
but
through?
it
Just
also-
like,
no,
That's a good point.
Because
You
there's
said
no
what?
name. It's not like her name was. It was just like Keith's girl. So anybody could have thrown that.
But they all had.
They knew.
They all
Oh,
had this
I like
girl,
that.
girl. Like that's how they represented in their couples. So it really also shows me how desperate were his friends and how excited were they for him to actually have a girlfriend, because they were like, whoa, Keith has a girl. It also made me think like maybe he doesn't usually have girls, not even the opposite, that he always has girls.
But I like your point. This whole, no matter who he would have brought, that sweater would still want to say
Right.
Keith's girl.
Yeah, you're
Like,
right.
come, what?
Yeah.
Like, he had that already up and planned, and it was a cover up because you undercover. I almost said the.
Okay, but be real. Let's be real about this, because Tenere and I know we got our spidey senses were kind of in episode like what 2? What's it like 2?
I ain't never really paid attention to dude. Though.
We
Yeah.
were paying attention to Keith, and so our spidey senses were like this. But I mean, be honest, like, was it
Hold
surprising?
on. It was surprising. No, yeah. Okay, I'm on the fence.
Be
I'm on
real.
the fence because when he got jealous of her being inside that restaurant that only certain people on the list for, the way he looked at her like, oh, how you get in there? What you do with Marvin? Like, that kind of gave me a little like, what he on? And it was just like, he looked at her like real jealous type, you know? But I honestly did not expect him to say that. And then, but it was kind of like hinted around with him wanting to listen on the door,
Yes.
with him like getting aroused that, you know, Todd was having sex with Karen. And I'm
Right.
just like, what this fool on? You know?
No. That's
No,
a
go
really
ahead.
good point, because what I actually noticed, the reason it was a surprise to me, but the reason it wasn't too much of a surprise is at the beginning of the episode when they walked into the cabin, Todd was talking about Karen, and and she's like, I'm so glad you can pull off this cut, talking to Nuri. And she was like, I wish I had the face to pull off this cut. And then Karen goes, and no, Todd is like, of course you have the face. And she was like, how would you know? You're always looking at my booty. And they start
Right.
playing around. And immediately Keith comes in trying to break it up, like cock blocking. I'm like,
Oh,
whoa.
I didn't.
That was a little
Yeah, I
moment
didn't
for
even
me.
peep that.
And then the awkward kiss when he was walking out and he asked Nuri, you know, either I'm gonna warm you up or you take this sweater.
Right.
And she was like, I'm taking the sweater. And then he like did that awkward kiss. We know what passion looks like. Okay, we know. We saw it at the end of the episode, and that was not it. So those were the two things that didn't make it too much of a surprise for me when it comes to him coming out.
I just thought they didn't have chemistry.
Yeah,
That was
that's
it for
kind
me.
of how I took that. But I'm like, I mean, this showed, for it to take that big of a spin, I was like, whoa. I just thought, you know, maybe in like real life, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, they
But
definitely.
they say you get a man drunk and he tell the truth.
You know,
Girl, he was on
his-
shrooms.
His shrooms, he said it was an emotional massage, and it'll help you bring out truths that you never even knew you had. That I was like, oh, okay, what kind of truths are we about to find out for you? Because you
Right.
just popped like 1.5. It felt like a really big one.
Yeah.
So that was, you know, but
Man.
and that was his truth.
I like that they played that into this episode, because a lot of men, especially African American men, they're really trying to battle through what it means to be manly, what their sexuality would be like, you know.
Yeah.
And he talks about the pressure when he's like, I have the perfect job, I did this, I did that, I'm an executive in Black Hollywood, why is it that I'm not good enough? And the
Yeah.
truth is, a lot of times people are looking for the right person instead of becoming the right person, and it's like, sir, you have a lot of healing to do. That's why this isn't working here.
You know what?
Right.
You know what I was actually
Speak
thinking
it.
about, like with where he was going with that. I was like, what if Nuri had been like, okay, let's do it? You know, would he have been like found
He
an
would have married
excuse
her,
like,
all of that. All
oh,
of
he would have
that.
been real undercover.
Well,
Please, girl, it would have been
I
the
don't
whole.
think she would have married him.
He is so. No, she wouldn't have. But I'm saying he is so afraid of his own truth right now. Is what
Oh,
I'm getting
right.
from him, that he is gonna mask it under any circumstances.
I mean,
so if
because-
she was
yeah.
if she was for it, he would have been for it too.
Yeah,
Even
that's
in,
true.
but
I
I'm,
double
I'm,
dated with
but
Todd,
but
and
I'm wondering
give him googly eyes
if
and
the
all.
state that he was in, because you know he was like real emotional and stuff. Like if she had been like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it. Would he have been like, wait, no, like would it have still come out that he's like, oh, I like Todd, you know? And if she would have
See,
wanted, I don't know.
really-
like Nuri helped him come out a little bit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it's tough.
I mean, he
well,
took it
because
back.
they didn't have chemistry, I would not have expected them to even go far. And I feel like the reason he kept popping up and around was because of this ski trip. If it wasn't for that, this man would not be in her face all day, every day. Because, like I said, going back to the outside of the restaurant scene, it was like they were rivals almost, you know? And he just wanted her place of where she was. Like, let me get to where she is type of thing, you know?
And,
And
like,
this whole
job-wise?
ski trip made him pop up, made him call about it, made him bring coffee to work for all of them. So I feel like he wanted to showcase a girl with him at the ski ship to his friends to cover up the fact that he's in love with Todd. And if you gotta cover up your love, then are you really in love?
Exactly.
Like, are you really trying to pursue this thing? Like, do you really acknowledge the fact that you're someone else?
Yeah. And, I mean, I think he really is in love. It's just with Todd.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just,
I
couldn't see them going any further than that. Yeah.
No, I couldn't. But on, I don't know, like men and women, as far as like being able to be themselves and express themselves, like that's the kind of segueing into our next topic. But before, we have a little favor to ask for our AfterBuzzers because we work so dang hard.
Yes, indeed. Hey, AfterBuzzers. Our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. So there's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, you know what? Don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we will thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk. Hey.
That's right. Said that. Men versus women. We were kind of on it. I think in this episode, Yasir expressed his hurt a particular way. Not the right way, had my blood boiling. And Nuri expressed her hurt a little bit differently. So that's such a big difference, like men versus women and their hurt. So that's what I kind of want to talk about. And Yasir in this, in my notes, I was like, oh, so you're smirking, huh? That was my note. He had this smirk laugh, and he's like, oh, yeah. Like this kind of like, what is that?
Okay, so let me tell you something.
Smirking about what though?
Laughing, like when they were arguing, like he was doing
the
like
ultimate.
he
was doing the ultimate. Yeah, like he didn't care.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. So this kind of went back.
Tell us something.
So this kind of went back to the beginning when he was talking with old boy, his friend with the.
Sean.
Oh, yes.
I feel like Sean got in his head a little bit. Was talking
with
about
the guy talk.
Yeah, why she go do this, and he kept saying like, well, maybe because of this and this, and I feel like the way that he was coming at Nuri at the end there, it was a little bit of Sean coming at, and you were like, really? Oh no, and the thing that got me. It was kind of, and I've been in these situations like in terms of these arguments where you really think you're like, man, I got something to say, like what I'm saying, like she better feel this. The part when he said, like, I made room, and she was like, I cleared out everything. You'd be like, dang.
And she watched him. She watched her clear out everything.
That shut it down. And I was like,
the audacity of you.
And you could see he felt it too for a second.
Right.
And I made room?
Right.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you.
Don't make room for me.
Right.
Like, if anything, there's no, let me clear out 10% of my agenda to fit 10% of you in here.
She said, I cleared out the whole deck. Only room is you.
Right.
Period. And you know what? You know what I have to say about Yasir? I'm really glad that this is a true life story and they're together today because I'm upset. Okay.
Right.
Because outside of that, I would have been like, sir, you're a bit manipulative, and I think it's really interesting that when he walked into the Insomnia, the coffee shop, he was reading Art of War. If you know anything about Art of War, you know that book is all about seeming weak when you are strong and seeming strong when you are weak.
Yep.
So you need to stop with the mind games. This is ridiculous, and I feel like he's a bit manipulative, and we are not saying enough about it. But hey, that's just me. I just felt like that was just a little much. It was a little much, and it's the way that he's going about it. You're tactful, and you know exactly what you're doing.
Well, he's over the top.
The finesse of his words is on point.
He's like over the top emotional. Like older Yasir, when he's explaining the situation, he literally said, I felt like I hit the Powerball with Nuri.
Right.
So if you feel like you hit a Powerball, and then not only that, we didn't know what the letter said at first, but it was like he was begging her. He clearly said, I love you. do not go on the ski trip.
Right.
And so that crushed him, and it crushed his ego as a man. If you're pouring your heart out and begging somebody not to do something and you expected her to have the letter, then of course he's going to be emotional. But these temper tantrums, no, they have to stop, because first of all, you a grown A-word man.
Yeah.
And who you think you talking to?
Yeah.
You're not about to raise your voice at me in a
look,
restaurant.
We go. The argument it's coming, but the men versus women. I just wanted to highlight it because we're gonna get on into this argument at some point in time. But
and she just made a really good point. Yeah.
Do you think that, like, as far as men, is there anything that women can do to help? Because when men hurt, I feel like they shut down a little bit.
Oh, for
and
sure.
when
He
women
threw so many temper tantrums, and her hurt, it was all tears. She cried in her office. She cried on the phone.
She tried to wipe them away.
She went in her house where clearly she has no furniture, and she's walking around this empty door, crying her eyes out, like upset, like she don't know what to do. She's flabbergasted, and he's getting upset. Like,
hurt people, for me, I thought of hurt people. Right. And so I know women, we say a lot of things. Obviously it goes both ways, so not to generalize at all, but I know that we say things when we're hurt. But I feel like Tenere in this episode, he did the most. Like, he was hurt, so he needed her to hurt. And I feel like, would you say that that's a normal trait? And if it is,
I feel like that's
what
childish.
can women, look here, we're going to let Tenere talk. What can we do? Like, what can women do to protect that peace? Because I feel like men do need to work on expressing themselves and their hurt and their feelings, because I don't like it to be the stereotype of women.
Well, like you said, I know, like you said, the point that you made about like shutting down, that's a real, like, I know I've done that before when I've got into like a heated argument, like with my wife or something, and it's just like, should we going at it, and then you just be like,
yo,
you just kind of like,
what do you do?
but but
what
it's,
do you do?
What do I do? First of all, I don't think it's really like I don't know. I think if you just get in your emotions sometimes, like, because I know I've said stuff, and as soon as it comes out, you're like, can I get that back? Like, no. And when it lands, like,
he reached for it.
Because then I already know it's either, like I said, it was either hurtful or it's already, I know what the response coming back is going to be, and you're just like, but I didn't know at the time. How else do I only know to say what I just said.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it, and maybe
it's
I didn't.
It's irrational thinking.
Maybe I didn't voice it the best way, but that's how it came, and that's sometimes a problem. Like, you're just like, I didn't mean that, but it's already taken. However it came out of my mouth, that's the way received it.
Do you think us giving you a chance to talk, because women we talk a lot and we talk over sometimes?
You know what I've done? Like, there's been times where I think I've almost overthought things, like how can I craft or say this? So, and I know my wife would be looking like, you don't have nothing to say right now. I'm trying to form it. And she's like, just say it, and sometimes when I just will say it, that's when I get in problems, so.
Talking about that's when I get in problems.
I really have to say, we saw very many different examples of hurt. And I think that, like you said, we want to not generalize it, right? Because we even saw two different men hurting. Keith, we saw that breakthrough when you talk about Nuri helping him come out. It was when she was able to be honest enough with him and be like, I don't want you. And immediately you heard him say, I knew it. In a way that was hit him all the way in the core, because for many reasons.
Not that deep, he gay.
No, that's what I'm saying. It hit him in the core for many reasons, because one, he's fighting off people seeing the real him, and two, he's trying to see, can I actually keep this going? Can I keep lying to myself? So that was an example of her. And then we see Yasir telling her, I love that you brought that up, what he wrote in the note, and I feel like too many times we attach love to possessiveness. And it's like, for you to be like, I love you, don't go on a ski trip, sir. That is not how this works.
It's not how this works.
Please, that is not how this works. And I really, really hate that narrative that is just a hand in hand. You have to tell me what to do, and I have to do what you want in order for me to love you. That is not love, and that is not unconditional.
There's a difference.
So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, and there's a difference between asking permission to go somewhere versus informing out of respect, because my husband and I talk about that a lot. People always come to him like, you gonna tell your wife, you gonna ask your wife if you gonna come on a guy's trip, or the girl's like, is your husband gonna let you out, like and things like that. Like,
you be getting stuff like that?
All the time. And you know what, it's one of those things that makes me proud to be married, makes me unapologetically married. We have a blog.
Girl.
We have a blog.
I received that. Can I touch your hand? I just rub off your
Yes,
Oh,
touch on
yes,
this.
the
Yeah,
ring.
yeah.
The ring. Oh, I receive it. I receive it.
Portia, just pass it on.
The
all
ring.
things.
But yeah, my husband's all the time. Even he told me, he was like, look, I'm a grown man. I don't have to ask my wife. I don't have to ask you for permission to go anywhere, but I love you enough to respect you enough and let you know where I'm going, who's going to be there, and kind of when I'm coming home. It's not that you're keeping tabs on me and vice versa. It's not that he's keeping tabs on me. It's just when you respect someone, you do things like that. So
can we get an example of how that conversation go?
it literally went just like, okay.
I'm talking about like
real life.
in your real life, like
In
how
my
would
real
that
life.
convert? Because us single people, we
no.
try to be trained the right way, so I
Absolutely.
know how to come to my husband when it's time to go on a girls trip.
Yeah, I'll make it
They
real quick.
coming.
I'll make it real quick.
Because I'm going.
Speak it. What is it? Visualize
Visualize it and it will happen.
Boom.
that hashtag. I know I don't have a timer or anything, so I'm gonna keep it real quick though. But like last week, I was going out with the girls after this actually, and
On
we
a
were-
Tuesday
Oh,
night?
dang.
Oh, and we don't end till 11, so that's after hours.
Right, it's after hours. It was actually Wednesday, but it's kind of the same time.
Getting lit.
But no, I texted them. I was like, "Hey, babe, I know you're at work. Just let you know, some of the girls we're going out. We're gonna do this. Such and such is gonna be there. I'm gonna be with these." I even sent him a cute little selfie. Just because, like, and I know, like,
love it.
Yeah, it's not like I'm like, oh, hey, this is who I'm gonna be with,
Right.
and I'm all nervous, like, oh my God, what's he gonna think? I just sent him a selfie of the girls. I was like, hey, girls, smile. I'm gonna send my husband a little cute picture, and they all smiled, and I was like, these are the girls for the night, LOL, and a heart. I mean, it's kind of like you just do small stuff, and you don't have to make it. Like, he's tracking me
Extra.
down.
Because y'all are one. And I feel like as people who are one, if I don't know where I'm at, then where am I? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, yeah.
like so of course I'm gonna let him know what's going on, who I'm with, where I'm at, because we're one. Like,
Yeah.
So
And
I think that's so logical, and I love it. Thanks
can
for
have a
teaching me
girl.
every time.
You can have a girl and have him being my protector, my provider, and my priest. He's my protector, so I have to give him the chance to be my protector if anything goes down at that place.
He
where
know
I'm
what's
going.
up.
Exactly. But that's a little, tidbit.
I love it.
We talk about these things.
Love is marriage.
I know, right? I do. We're at that point. We got a little bit of time, and clearly in this part of the episode, they took a little bit of their time. The sex scene, y'all.
Thank you for that little audio.
I want to call this. I was gonna call it breaking all the rules, but now I want to call it bending all the rules because they did. So first, no, he did.
They did a lot of bending.
He did. They did a whole lot of bending. Okay,
Yelling.
a whole lot of bending, rubbing, touching, all that. But anyway, so he broke his Ramadan for sure. But when he mentioned that, you said your rule, you don't want to have sex with anybody under this roof who is not your husband. They laid on the patio outside. So first of all, they're not under the roof, but they on the patio. So they bend the rule a little bit, just so they can do what they wanted to do. And I just feel like, if you want to do what you want to do, and you got standards and you got rules and you make some accommodations, then apparently you going after what you want.
I love an Afro Angela. I hope I'm saying it correct. If I'm not, please type out phonetically if you want to. I'm so sorry. But I love the comment that he or she said.
Angola. Afro Angola.
Yasir and Nuri kept arguing and kept being blinded by their ego. The sex felt more of an outcome of tension than passion.
Wow.
I absolutely agree with that, because when you were talking about them going outside, it actually rubbed me the wrong way, because I feel like for somebody to be so sure, as Yasir always says that he is, why would you tell me if I told you that I only want to have sex with my husband under this roof, I expect you to tell me, well, I am your husband for the rest of my life. Like, that is the way that he moves, that is the way that he carries himself, and that is the way that he pretends, or I'm not say pretend, that is what he allows this relationship to be, to fall in love so deeply, so immediately. So why wouldn't you bring that same intensity to this commitment aspect of it. Instead, you bend the rules. I didn't like that one a little. I didn't.
Well, the thing is.
I thought when I heard it, I thought he said, "Tonight I am your husband." I don't know where I got that from, but I thought
it's what you wanted him to say.
It's what I guess.
She's like, all right.
It's what you wanted him to say.
I think because I was still pissed off at him because I thought of episode 1 when he's like, "If it were a year from now, thank you, Afro Angola. It is a he. That person is a he. I apologize. Thank you so much." But I feel like in that first episode, when he was like, "A year from now, what would you say?" I thought in my mind, I thought he was going, "Oh, no. You said the rule was this and blah, blah, blah. So tonight I'm your husband." And I was about to say, "Oh, heck no." But
So
again, that's what I heard.
Wait a minute, real quick though.
No,
real quick. I wanted to see what the setup was like. Like, they kind of skipped over that. They just went from the inside and then they were out on the patio. Was he like running in the house? Like, where is the candles? Like, where is the air mattress that we need to go out? Like, I was like, what was that?
It was intense.
So
I'm
I
being
feel
dumb.
like
I'm sorry.
he's really intentional about his respect for a woman's body. For a woman's body and her emotions in that realm, because even when they first laid on the floor in the house, she was like, "I don't want to, mess up your Ramadan, and plus I don't want to have sex with nobody who's not my husband in this roof, under this roof." And then she looks down at his friend and she like, "Oh, your friend went away real quick." And he was like, "Well, when a woman says no, I listen."
Yeah.
And I feel like he's even though they have this emotional, argument and they, are going through some real tough stuff, I feel like that doesn't stop him from respecting her body and her wishes in regards to her body and the things that she wants to do with it. And he's very respectful in that manner.
I think it was Nuri's idea to go outside.
Yeah.
I definitely don't
because
agree
she
with
wasn't
that.
about to take no for an answer. She already done took no before.
Right, exactly. So I feel like he was about to say, no, I don't want to do this. We're good.
Right.
Even though I'm really feeling it right now. I feel like she was the one about, "Oh, it's okay. We could just go."
Okay, what we could do is...
That's why I said that's why I said he broke the rules and she bent the rules.
Okay, so if that's the case, and I can definitely see that. But I love what Angola definitely said. Afro Angola, young man, where are you? Hello. I love what he said, because when he was also pulling up the point that it seemed more like tension rather than passion, it showed us that when you operate out of love and you go off this raw ego thing, it doesn't work. Your ego is not your amigo, okay? And when we were all sitting there and we're watching the older Nuri and Yasir talk about that moment, when they got into that intense fight, I loved how he reached over and held her hands, because I love seeing them relive their own history in front of our own eyes. So it's just a beautiful thing all around to see how they've grown now, you know, from where they were.
And can I say, the feeling of someone supporting you when you have messed up.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me, and I know we'll get to our love is, and you know what, this isn't even my love is.
He messed up big time, though. Multiple times. And each time she just cried it out and forgave him. She really did. Because even when he slammed the door in her face, she woke up the next morning like, "I forgot to be mad at you."
Right. But I feel like this one was more painful because, again, he cut with words. And it brought me back because, you know, I've been married for 3 years and everything is not roses and you know, beautiful smells or whatever it is that you like in the world. It's not that way. But I was telling Thelma earlier, because she was asking me, how long have you been married? It's difficult. It takes work, meaning like you have to be into 3 years. So you have to be intentional. Tenere, how long have you been married?
Ooh, this past March was 12 years.
Shut up!
Congratulations.
You are
That's
holding
wonderful.
all of this gold.
You got gems you need to be dropping on these fools. They don't know what to do.
I thought everybody, you guys didn't know.
I need training. What you mean?
So let's just address all our questions lives that way.
Next week, y'all, we're gonna
have a special segment where we let the married couples teach us a little something, and especially the ones who've been married over a decade.
Right. I do want to give. You know
I'll make sure my wife can write in on the thing.
She needs to come be a special guest.
Let me tell you something.
No,
oh my gosh, 12 years.
I do think
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Come on, love lasting a long time. I'm inspired.
Awesome. I think that's
you
great.
rub off on me too.
But
Let's do it.
like I love that. I love what you were just saying about like it's not always roses, and it's funny that in episode 3 or so, Yasir, the older Yasir, told us, allow your heart to move, allow your heart to lead you. And she was like outside, but in this episode, it seemed like they were all moving from ego, and she even said, "You were being all rah rah, so I had to show that I could be rah rah too." And it's like, let's just drop the act, let's just drop the
ego.
rah rah. Like it's just
ego.
Like, be real, because when you feel it, and it just could not be denied.
Well, I thought
I
thought
feel like she was being that way though. She was so soft and sweet.
She is
and forgiving.
Even during that piece, Portia was like, when she came back in the house crying, Portia was like, she's too sweet. She don't deserve this.
Well, I thought when they were in the middle,
I felt so sad because she was just
crying. For sure.
When they were in the middle of that argument, or when he got up and walked away from the table, and she was like, "Oh, that's how you gonna do? Like you walk away, And
he gonna say, "That's exactly the kind of man."
And he had the smirk. Yeah, that was definitely a smirk moment. He's like, "Yeah,
I literally
that's
said,
what I did."
"Yo, get your butt out that restaurant."
But in a way, why does he get to play this game and say who he is and then go back on it and blah blah blah? But then it's like when she does something, it's like, you told me you weren't gonna go on the street. Who are you for you to sit here and question my character? Yet you are the one who I know nothing about. You have a child. You have so much going on that has not even come up yet. But you want to sit here and question my character?
Yeah, sometimes when he does
it came up last episode, but I feel like she forgot.
She has forgotten a lot. She's forgotten. What did her mom tell her that she needs to get to know this man before she falls in love?
For sure.
Random, but she did forget to turn off her car. Is that what I saw?
When?
Oh, she didn't forget. She just saw him and said, "What car?"
Yeah, when she pulled up and Yasir was sitting on her porch. Was I the only one?
Well, look, they took time to go set up the patio for this sex. So I believe in that time when she went to go get the candle, she probably got him out the car and turned the car off.
Right.
I really thought the neighbor was maybe gonna the white lady that was always I thought she maybe roll up on him just like, "Oh, what's going on?" Like in mid like
she came by like, "Oh baby, I got this." Right. Take the keys out for him, put them on the porch. Like Miss Pearly always looking out.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway,
I just love
Miss
how
Pearly
it rained and
love.
poured and they still kept going.
Oh God, especially when it rains.
Yeah.
Tanir, can you please
when
say
he saw that?
Can you please say what you said?
All right. People. Was it just me? Please write in and when I tell you what I'm about to say. Okay, so I thought, it was such a passionate scene. And I was like, I didn't even focus on anything, the ambiance or whatever it was. So I thought that, there was some droplets of water
he thought that was sweat.
On his back, on Yasir's back, and I thought it was sweat. So I was like, whoa, Yasir's putting in work. Like the physical
work. He putting in that work. I said, oh.
Leave it to the man to say that on the panel.
I was like taking notes. Like, maybe I need to. What's he?
I'm not about to play with you.
But Michele Weaver and William Catlett, they're really doing an amazing job with this role. Like they really seem to embody like the nature of Nuri and Yasir, like the real nature of them. So I love them. I love it.
So no one else thought it was sweat. You guys all thought it was real.
I knew it was rain.
They just started.
But before it started
coming, I thought maybe he
this
shook and it was like coming down again. Like,
before it started coming down, it started thundering and lightning.
Well, I thought that was.
You gotta pay attention.
I didn't know that was. I thought that was his thunder and lightning because he was.
I'm sorry.
He was bringing the lightning. Okay,
I'm not about to play with you.
We just took a left turn. Like, man, this is all.
Lord, we only got 10 minutes. Come on. No, but
no one else thought it was.
Speaking of, if you thought it was sweat on Yasir's back, we greatly appreciate for you too. We're on iTunes too. Like, we know some of you are watching live. You're watching onto YouTube after the fact. We're also on iTunes, so we would appreciate if you're riding in the car. Give us 5 stars. Leave a review. Let us know that we're doing a good job, or let us know some of the things that you want to talk about. And we'll give Tenere time, special segment Tenere time next week. So drop some questions that you would love to ask a married man that's been in the game 12 years. He put my 3 years others to shame. So with that being said,
and not asking about if I got sweat, like going.
right. Please keep them appropriate.
Yes.
But that
Hashtag
brings us to
This fool said hashtag sweat. Good night. There.
I have to before we move on to our special segment, I have to give a shout out to our engineer, our producer in the studio. Steve said hashtag hard work.
You know what I'm saying, Steve?
I know what you're saying.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying.
I'm losing my headphones over here. It's getting them real.
I am with you, my friend.
Thank you.
He's our second man on the panel.
Right, that is.
He's our second man on the panel. We just can control. He can only type so fast, but he can time in at any time. It's hilarious. But we have a special segment, as you guys know. We have a special segment called Love Is, where we like to know what love is means to you, and we're going each episode. So we're gonna go right on into it. Hey.
Guys, should we do like the rock the side to side?
That hard snap too, just like.
So for this episode, love is courage, and I say courage because it's all Nuri. First of all, she's a really sweet woman. I really love her. I love everything about her character, the way she carries herself, and the way she fights for what she wants. She had the courage to stand up to Keith and tell him, like, no, I love another man. You can step back. She had courage when she popped up at Ruby crib looking for her man. She had courage when she called the house. She called Shine House and Ruby House looking for him. And then she, had the courage to bend all her rules at the end. You know how that go, but yeah.
All right. Love is. Wow. What about you, Tenere?
I'm gonna just keep it real. Love is hard work. You know what No,
I'm not about to play with you.
I can't.
I'm totally out of line.
You
That
killing
was
the vibe.
It's not.
it was
That's
all
how you
like
feel.
real.
Hey,
And she was like
that's how
courage
you-
and all that. I'm like,
It is.
but that was love right there. I feel like he was. I'm being real right now. That's
Okay, love is hard work.
Or she's looking at me like, "Fool, are you
Because
serious?"
I could just
right?
imagine with your
I know she's probably embarrassed. Like, let me just shut
What your
him
wife is
down.
thinking about
Cut
you
off
right now.
Cut off his mic right
Hey,
now.
Look, people divorce. The divorce rate is very high, and the top two things is money and sex. So Tenere,
Man,
come on. You better go home and get that hard work in.
That's what
oh my gosh, look here. My love
That's
is
the only part. That's the only part I was like focused. Like, oh man, I'm just like hard work.
love is, to bring it on back down to radio voice. My love is vulnerable. It's just mask off, telling that person how you feel, not really giving. Yasir said, cut the bullshit. Let's really talk about how we feel for one another and not any of this rah-rah, going back and forth, seeing who has the bigger ego. Love is vulnerable. And I want to tie back to that hand grab of older Yasir and Nuri because that set in so close to me, because the moment that my husband decided to still love me through my mess was the most vulnerable, most loving part I've ever witnessed in my life. So love is vulnerable.
That's right, girl. Mama, you're giving us chills tonight. Okay, but for me, you're gonna cry. Do we need a little something up here? Okay, honestly, for me, I gotta say love is freedom. Love is freedom. Love is freedom. And the reason I say that is because there are a lot of moments in the show where we have, like, Yasir asking Nuri, did you have to go on the trip to find out that you love me? You know what? Sometimes you do. Sometimes you need to figure out what you don't want. You know what I mean? And love is freedom in that sense. And it's freedom to be who you are and to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I just think that we just need to kind of move away from the possessive nature and just allow people to be who they are.
That's
you
real.
know?
Love is, guys. That's right. So please drop your comments. Leave it in your review if you want. Use hashtag love is. Let us know what your love is from this episode, period, all of that. We would love to read them. But with that, we are going into our news and gossip.
I love all these drops. Keep doing that. So for our news and gossip this week, shout out to Rocky. We love you, baby. This is usually her thing. So today we got 5 real life love lessons from Mara And it was all pertaining to Love Is show. Okay, first and foremost, number one, look for character in a mate. So I'm going to just glance through a little bit of why she says this. Yasir is living in LA, unemployed with a dream. It is important to get to know a person's character and heart first. You could miss out on someone if you rule them out for not having it all together. You either choose to love the idea of someone or you choose to see who they are and to love them where they are at.
All right now.
Yes. And she also said, when you see that intended effort, you get to see character.
All right.
Number two, don't let technology do all the talking.
Lord, have
And we
mercy.
know we good with these phones as millennials. I feel like that speaks for itself, but I am
Yes.
going to read something that Will Catlett said. He said, no matter the time, if you really want love, you will do the things you need to do to get it. It doesn't matter if we are in 2018 technology. Hold on. He said, it doesn't matter that we are in 2018. Technology is still not going to slow down. It is
Right.
how you deal with it.
All right.
Right, that's very true.
Number three.
3.
Take a risk for love.
Oof, that speaks for itself, honey.
It really
Yeah,
does.
but I do want to read
We
what
do need to elaborate.
I do want to read what Michele said. This, she said, if you want love, it is a risk. If you have to be you have to be vulnerable. You have to be open, and if you want to share something, because it's through the good and the bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Better or worse.
All right.
Number 4, follow your purpose. It could lead to love. If you realize it, I wasn't looking for a man. I was following my purpose. I found a man, a career, some friends, and it is right there. And Mara said that. And number 5, go after what you deserve.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, putting
Thank
it
you,
down, Miss
Mara.
Mara.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because it's not just TV. And let's be real, Mara. I need the camera. I need to look in your eyes. We need to know if this sex scene was real life. You don't have to tell us a lot. I
What?
just
Outside.
blink twice if it was. Okay. Next we have our Love Is Fan of the Week. We don't need to find
And
out.
I want to give a shout out this week to Morgan B, who what really caught me and why you got the award for this week is in your comments from last week. You said you started off by saying, "I watched this show alone." I was like, man, just right off the bat, like you're just putting it out there. And then it said, "Thanks for being the people I can chat with." So I was like, hey, if we can do that, we can be those people, you know, to
what?
share with.
I chat with you every Tuesday night.
You know,
I'm
That's
with
what-
y'all next Tuesday.
you know what? We're gonna chat with you, Morgan, all day, every week, in the comments, on
Right.
live chat, whatever. Thank you so much.
was the
Great fan
sweetest.
of the week. Love it. Well, that is us, guys. That's for our news and
indeed.
gossip. Real quick, we need like a good 10-second prediction or overall thought. Where do we think this story will go from?
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
I'll start off. I think like Angela has a pure heart, and it's beautiful to see her be there for Nuri in a lot of ways. But I'm curious to see how they might start to have conflict when their job and competition between their job might come into play. So I'm really curious to see how we see Angela change, because that's a relationship that we keep seeing developing from the beginning.
Okay, that was good.
I think Ruby is about to question Yasir about this pop-up and what they got going on. And in the process, she may try to get with him again, you know, try her luck to see if he still wants that.
Bye, Ruby.
Wow. I'm thinking, in terms of especially the sex scene, like where is that going to lead to? You know, is there?
Are they having a baby?
Can he
I
tell
don't-
her about his baby first?
I mean, well, he did, but they didn't really talk about it. Like,
No.
They ain't
Yeah, it
talking
was just
about-
kind of
Like when your
referred
friends
to.
write letters about
They
them going
ain't
to
talking
ski
about
trip.
nothing, but they arguing about everything and they having sex. So it don't even matter at this
yeah,
point.
wasn't too soon. Afro Angola said it was too soon.
Also, actually, one
go
last
ahead.
was going back to the Keith situation. I wonder if that's gonna come back up again as something like maybe a situation comes up.
Keith?
At work?
Just the
Keith,
fact that he didn't
Absolutely,
really.
trying to play it off.
He
Like,
didn't
I was just
address
trying to
it,
make
you know?
feel
Yeah,
comfortable. It's
like-
like, Keith, I really need you to address this for yourself.
I
But
think it's-
Nuri was so graceful and so
Yeah.
kind.
I think that's
and
gonna
I
pop
love the way
back
she
up.
handled that situation. I'm gonna let you do you.
All right. No, I think that'll pop up too, especially how he grazed over like it didn't happen. That did on the key thing. I think Angela being just kind of like she comes in and out, and when she comes in is so powerful. I want to maybe say that there's going to be a little bit of headbutting, a little rivalry, because I feel like Angela almost had it up to here with her with Nuri for a minute. And so I think whether it be like love life or work, Nuri does a really good job at using other people to escape certain situations. Mm-hmm. And so I think a little bit of rivalry we'll see there. And when's the sun going to come up? Yasir, when's it going to happen, buddy? That's all I got. But yeah, to continue the conversation, let us know, Thelma, let our people know where they can find you to continue the conversation.
Oh, guys, absolutely. You can find me at Thelmy on Instagram, on Twitter. And I'm also here at Married at First Sight, Tuesday nights at 7:10 Pacific Standard Time. And it's different, but we're still talking about love. So I would love for you guys to join us with that as well.
All right.
And hopefully I'll see you soon.
And all right, y'all, thanks for watching. It's Porchia. You can find me on all social media at Porchia Carter.
Tenere Williams, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tenere W, #sweat.
Hashtag hard work.
Hashtag hard work that he putting in tonight.
I can't. You can find me. He's done. Headphones off. You can find me, Takira Shabrae, at Takira_Shabrae on Instagram and Twitter and all throughout the comments. I love to read them. And you can find Rocky, she's our 4th loved panel, at Raquel Harris TV.
Yep.
We love you, miss you, girl. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We cannot wait to see you next week. Bye.
Peace out.
Love you guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Love you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.